Yo, what's going on, guys? It's me, Justice1 or J1, whatever you want to call me, as long as you know me. And man, I have not made a commentary video in a long time, so I figured, why not? Let's do it. I've been watching a lot of Xcode and Luna lately, so man, let's get right on into the video. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so this story takes place in around the years of 2016 to 2019, whenever I was in middle school. And my god, let me tell you, these were some of the most interesting times of my life. It's what really shaped me as me. And one of the first things I remember whenever I went to my middle school was meeting this one kid, and for the sake of the video, I'm actually going to be calling him Tyler. Now, this is kind of funny because he used to be in my videos from previously before, and the funniest part is you're not going to know who it is. And to those of you who think you know, it's none of the homies from GTA. Actually, the GTA homies don't even take place until like 2019, 2020, so your guess would be way off on any of them. So if you really know me that well, then it's definitely not them. And actually, it's funny because he used to watch my videos and make fun of them all the time. So if you know who you are, you know who you are, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna call you one day and you're gonna know. You're gonna know it's you whenever you see this video. So shout out to you, my guy. You know who you are, and I just want to say what's up. So anyways, for the sake of this video, we're just gonna call him Tyler. And anyways, way back in middle school, alright, I first was getting ready to go onto my bus stop, okay? I'm nervous because this is my first year in middle school. I actually switched schools, and I used to love my elementary school that I used to be in a lot. So much, in fact, that I didn't like this school at all, and anything that I could find in the school, whether it was good or bad, or, you know, any representation that was given to it, I still didn't care, and I hated the school so much. And it was kind of funny because I actually later found out that anyone who was from that school, whether or not they were there for previous years, a couple of years before, like not the whole time, or if they've never been there before, they all hated it equally the same. And now, mind you, this middle school was actually notorious for being the worst of the district, and nobody cared about it, which was actually pretty sad. And it's not until the modern day where pretty much they just started modernizing it, which is pretty funny because it was still like it was stuck in the 90s and the 80s, etc. And yeah, so anyways, moving back onto the story, just for some context there, because I felt that was important, and that's part of the reason why I did a lot of crazy stuff in middle school with my friend. And speaking of that friend, so me and Tyler, alright, after I got off and I arrived at the school, I sat down at my homeroom class, which ironically was still a thing. It was not called advisory, it's not called discovery. I don't know why the school board changes this stuff. And by the way, I went to school in the state of Pennsylvania, so to those of you who are fans of me and you're from Pennsylvania, you can relate. And everyone else who's not from the state, I don't know, I guess it sucks for you, or you could relate too. So now whenever I was in this class, this is where all like the fun stuff is. This is like the home base headquarters of just pure madness and fun, alright? I met this kid Tyler, right, and my teacher actually had him sit right next to me, and so right off the bat I got really good vibes from him. You know, we started making a joke and all that, and our first joke that we've ever made was whenever our teacher, let's call him Mr. David would start showing us things around the room, and he would start pointing to them, and he would say these a lot. He would always say these. He would say these, this, that, these, like that's all you would hear from this teacher, okay? I don't know why, I don't know what reason, he just said these a lot, and every single time he said these, it sounded like he was saying D's. When we were thinking of D's, we would think of D's nuts, which, if y'all don't remember, 2015 and 2016 were also the times where like MLG and D's nuts was literally not even like 2 years old. It just became like a year old or less, and it's still the funniest thing on planet Earth to like all of us middle school kids. And I bet you if we said that to anyone else, it would have probably been super lame, but it was hilarious. I mean, you know, who didn't like these nuts jokes at the time? Like, all right, some of you guys are probably super young and don't even remember this, all right? But older people, y'all can relate, you know what I'm saying? And when we would say this, like, every time you would say these, I would look over at Tyler and be like, it doesn't sound like he's saying these nuts. And he goes, these nuts. And that's exactly how we sounded. And it's so cringe thinking about it, but from that day, we just struck like a huge bond, and we became like the best of friends, you know, and it was actually really great. And flashing forward, you know, they take us to our very first lunch, and he goes down, and Tyler invites me to his, you know, table of friends, you know, the clique, the homies together, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, we meet up, and it's just like a bunch of peeps that obviously I don't know, and I'm starting to get to know people, you know, like we have, I don't know, we'll call a few of these people by surnames. Let's say, I met a friend by the name of Noah. He was a really nice guy. Later to find out that we're actually really close too, which is his best friend, and he's into kind of like history. He's like a history nerd, but also he's like really funny too, so, you know, he would crack jokes with us too. Obviously, you know, it's just kind of the simple middle school stuff, but really getting to know these people really helped out. Oh, and there was another kid, we'll call him Ben. He's an interesting character, and I still talk to him to this day as well. When he was younger, he was very chaotic and rowdy, and would always ask us for like things at lunch or whatever. Like, you know, in school, y'all remember the meals and stuff, and you could like spend like $2 on some like gummies that were like only like 6 of them. That was such a ripoff, but you know, kids still bought them anyways. Yeah, he would always ask us for one of those, or like he would ask us for a cookie, which was 55 cents, which is really good. I mean, their cookies were gas, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Those were so good. But actually, it was really funny. Like, this was so dated to the point where back then, if you didn't have money, they would only give you a cheese sandwich for lunch. And to those of you who always eat lunch all the time, and you know that you guys love that stuff, and you know that cafeteria food isn't always the best in school, or some of you guys had the fire lunches. Like, shout out to anyone who was in high school, middle school, and elementary in 2008. You guys are legends. Lucky you guys. You actually had good lunches. Until Michelle Obama ruined it afterwards. You know, tough days. But yeah, so anyways, like, y'all know that cafeteria food is decent or worse. Some people love cafeteria food, some people don't. You know, obviously we pack, or y'all pack then. If you didn't like it, but whenever you did have cafeteria food, you would probably rather that over what they used to give, and they used to give a cheese sandwich. Not grilled cheese, just a cheese sandwich, alright? It was 2 slices of bread, which, you know how the middle school is by now, guys. I told you guys that it sucks, and it was awful, and when we mean it was awful, it truly was. Like, the bread was on the verge of being stale. I mean, half the time, if you got a chicken sandwich, you were just touching 2 rocks on a chicken patty. And it was hilarious. Like, these 2 almost stale bread, alright? Like, it would have expired probably by the next day. Stale bread. And basically welded together with cheese. And so, yeah. That was the type of meal that you were given if you didn't have any more money at the cafeteria. And I'll tell you, I had that a couple of times, and that's how dated it really was in middle school. In fact, this was actually the last year that they ever stopped that. I felt like it was a little too harsh on the kids, especially if they didn't prefer, you know, a cheese sandwich. And nowadays kids are like really greedy over stuff, and at that time, you know, they're just kind of like, screw it, you have to deal with it. And that was pretty much all of middle school anyway, so I mean, it was really nothing new, to be honest with you. Even though kids were still rebels, I mean, they still kind of listened at the time. And you know, you look at the younger kids nowadays, no offense to you guys, to my younger audience, I love you guys, but a lot of younger kids at that time just would not listen. Like, after we got to like 8th grade, you know, all the younger kids just didn't listen. And yeah, it was just kind of like, dang, I mean, I guess we were the last group of the realists. But you know what I mean, all the older people can relate on this one too. But yeah, so hey, everything's wholesome here, we're just chilling, you know what I'm saying. This is just my opinion. If you have a problem with my opinion, obviously you can click off this video. Obviously it might not be meant for you, to those of you who are offended, so I don't really care. But yeah, anyways, back on to this. This is very interesting. Whenever we got our lunch and everything, we would all sit down together, and we were a nuisance to the entire school. I'll tell you, from what I remember, every time we sat down, we were always doing some stupid thing, like getting off the tables, jumping up and down, running around, or like saying something stupid, screaming on the top of our lungs, all that crazy stuff. And I mean, really, like, we did things like getting our DS's. Oh my gosh, we would play Mario Kart 7 together. I remember having like a whole 7 to 8 lobby, and y'all remember those times where if you can get a 7 to 8 lobby around like 2015, I mean, you were like chilling, like you were meant to have a good time. You were meant to have a good time, like seriously. And it was great. I loved it, every moment of it. But yeah, so I mean, you guys even remember the download play. Heck, that was the times where you could play any game for free. Now, like, if you want to do that, you had to do some like LAN party stuff, and you had to all have the same game and spend like $20 each per person, or 60 if it's a new game. Man, this is crazy. Like, inflation hits, and it's like, dude, I don't even think games are like worth $20 anymore. If it was $60, it's worth 70. $20 games are probably worth 30. Like in the cookies that were 55 cents, I bet you they're $1.55 now or something. It's ridiculous, man. Y'all know the inflation, gas prices, and I'm just like thinking back to this, I'm like, wow, we didn't have to deal with that as kids. Oh, this is crazy. So anyways, guys, I mean, a couple other things, we would actually get these trays, and y'all remember the kid in your group who would always get a tray and buy a bunch of food, and then take everyone else's food and dump it into one and make the most disgusting concoction, and either eat it or just let it sit there just to smell awful in front of the whole table. It was like a stink bomb, dude. There was always that one friend, and in this video, we're just gonna name this friend Leviathan. I don't know, this is such a random name, but me and Leviathan actually take it back all the way up to high school. Like, now we're like always talking together. Like, I remember freshman year, where we were really independent, and he was the only person I talked to. Which, by the way, if you guys want a video on high school stuff, please let me know. I actually just found middle school more important, but we still have some good high school memories too in there. But yeah, so like at the time, actually, me and Leviathan were not as big of friends back then. Actually, he was kind of like my enemy in 5th grade. Like, he would do a lot of stupid stuff, because he actually takes ADHD meds, and before the time he didn't take it in school, because I actually don't know why he didn't take it in school, but it was not working for him. Like, he would be on edge about everything. He would do some dumb stuff. He would get in trouble, and he used to get like 80 plus like write-ups, 100. Like, he was setting records. But this kid's like underground at the time. Like, he would do everything in secret. Like, something stupid goes down, usually someone has a name for it, they know who did it, they all start laughing. Nah, he'll do some stupid stuff and no one will know. Like, he's like this Silver Shroud, dude. Y'all remember, all my Fallout 4 fans, y'all remember the Silver Shroud, bro. He was like the Silver Shroud. He was undiscoverable. People had no clue who he was, but at the same time, they know some stupid stuff would happen. Like, I don't know, like, what, he'll do something stupid and put like a business card up there, and I'm just kidding. That would be the real Silver Shroud. But yeah, anyways, that was another dumb thing. So we had some pretty stupid kids at a group. Now, mind you guys, we were not stupid middle schoolers. Like, we were not vapors. We didn't do any stupid shit like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand those kids, to be honest with you. They're kind of all really annoying, and I disassociated with those kids when I was in middle school. High school now, it just doesn't even matter. Honestly, that stuff's kind of culturally accepted after school, so it's totally different. But around that time, people would be so strict about that, and you know, if you vaped, you know, you would get in huge trouble. You can get in legal trouble. Like, y'all know how it is, like in school. It's just not worth it. But yeah, we weren't like any of those kids. We all just kind of were like innocent kids. You know, didn't really do anything stupid unless we got in trouble. I had this weird thing where whenever I was at the principal's office, I would play like super dumb about stuff, or I'd question them, just be an overall like idiot. But I mean, nothing too much really happened. Also, I mean, I'm actually named this title Chronicles of Middle School Part 1. Like, I'm gonna make this a series because there's a lot. Like, I got detentions, I've done a lot of stupid stuff around this time, and you know, within 4 years of just madness, it's hard to put into one video. So if you guys want a part 2, you know, please let me know in the comments down below. I really appreciate it. And anyone who is from my middle school, if you guys would like to do a commentary with me, please let me know. Like, hit me up. I would totally be down. I bet you guys Tyler would. He would definitely probably want to come on here and talk about some crazy stuff that he did in his 5th to 6th grade year whenever we were in the same school. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's good to be back with some commentaries. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day / week. I'm actually recording this video as of Labor Day, so if this is posted on Labor Day, I don't know, happy Labor Day. Enjoy. That's pretty much all I could say, so have a good one, guys. Peace.